Why do you keep speculating in a space like this? With them scams and the ruggers and things. Damn me, you be getting liquidated by pretend inefficiency and them useless tokens like this. Why don't you quit so that and they give you your bags and shout that there's some money? Shout till it's just a lie, it's just a real call. I can do say how deep in your eyes, embrace the light. Come let's hang around under the light. I'll have it for you, embrace the light. Finish on my wall, so look at the light. Embrace the light, motherfucker.
Welcome back to another episode of the Lite Hour live stream. The Lite Hour live stream is a Litecoin dedicated live stream that we host on the Flipping Finance page every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 5 p.m. EST. And today we have a very important conversation to have, a very important thing to talk about. And just as the title suggests, we will be seeing LTC get to $30 short term. Now, this thought occurred to me this morning, right? As I woke up and I saw a post from someone I know in this community, CryptoRel, where he's essentially calling that we're going below $20. And of course, the perma bull in me went, what absolute fucking nonsense is this, right? But I had to just take a step back, right? Because it's always very important, right, that and when you're looking at the charts and when it comes to market expectations. And by the way, none of this is financial advice. Please understand, this is just my opinions that I'm sharing on these free social media platforms. Okay, don't take it as financial advice. But personally, I just think it's very important to always check biases, right? Because I'm a perma bull, so of course my view of things sometimes could be biased. And so I had to go to the chart, right, and look at it. Is it possible that we see a $30 or even sub $30 Litecoin? What I found is quite interesting. So we're going to be going into that today. So two things we're going to be doing today. We're going to be doing that, and then we're going to be doing a sentiment watch. So we're going to be looking at what people are saying about Litecoin, right? We're going to go in and doing that, because we do that almost every stream, where we just look at people's comments and then we react and then we kind of chill together, right? So get your seatbelts buckled up, because we're gonna have a fun stream. Before I begin the stream, of course, you guys know, as customary, I have to give my friends at 84 million a shout out, of course, because they make one of the, if not the best, crypto merchandise out there. And if you want to get a Litecoin hoodie, of course, you should go get it from 84million.com/shop, because what I'm wearing right now is a Litecoin merch, if you haven't figured out. And of course, I couldn't have been able to get this Litecoin merch without my friends at 84 million. So yeah, you can go ahead, 84million.com/shop. You can see the website that I've just pulled here, and you can see all of the nice Litecoin merchandise they have. And you can get whichever one you like. If you like Litecoin, yeah, get one. You hate Litecoin, you think it's going to zero, yeah, get one. It doesn't matter, just get one and support my friends at 84 million. And with that being said, I think we need to move into the elephant in the room. So I'm gonna pull up the post, right? Then we're gonna go through essentially his what he's been saying. And by the way, this is not an endorsement of anybody, right? This guy is just a committee member, just like anybody else. And he's been making this claim since, and it's just like Litecoin Lion, right? I don't know how many of you guys know Litecoin Lion, but everyone should know Litecoin Lion if you're a Litecoiner, because he's pretty he's pretty huge in this space, and he's been here for quite a while. And Litecoin Lion sometimes like to be conservative. He likes to make posts that we might find not very positive, and because of it, some people might want to dismiss him. But I don't ever want to be that guy who dismisses any perspective, especially when it comes to price, because it's always good. What's the worst that can come out of knowing if or hearing that maybe we might have a little drawdown? The worst is you get to protect your expectations short term and focus more on the very fundamental properties, the very fundamental value of Litecoin. And so we're gonna be diving into this. So this is the claim that I saw. So I'm gonna start it from the beginning, and then I'm gonna play, and then we're gonna see how we're gonna drop my 2 cents on it, right?
All right, y'all. Since Litecoin wanted to wait until the actual apex, let's take the measure move down. Right here, our target is $50. And the arrow projection already shows it, like the bars pattern in white. It literally is showing it, So if this increase right here was just a divergence, just to get us right back up to the white that we have, the bars pattern in white, then, it is what it is. They love faking us out. But regardless, I see us coming back down to $50, right? The arrows, the other arrow projections that I had, it shows around 48. This arrow projection right here shows 45. We could potentially double bottom that area and then just go sideways. If we break 44, unfortunately, 35 is going to hit. All right, y'all. Since
All right, so that was it. That was what I saw. And apex, when I saw this, I had that knee-jerk reaction that, what the fuck is this shit? Okay. And, it just like, I had to go look at it for myself. Now, personally, I freaking hate to say this, but it's possible, right? It's possible. Is it likely? I don't know. I can't say, but it's not impossible, right? When you look at it, when you really take your time and look at what's going on in the chart, and that might just be what we need to explode, right? To finally get that break, because ultimately, this is my LTC BTC chart that I work with, and it's just a bunch of support and resistance line, and then I try to get a channel because we've been descending against Bitcoin, and just trying to get a channel for that. And what you can see is essentially that we've been descending in this channel, and this particular support has kind of like acted as a sidestep for this decline. And you can see how long we spent just grinding the edge of this support, and you can see how long we spent here. And first time we spent very long here. This is August of 2019 all the way to June of 2022. We spent all that time grinding, and you can see what was the trigger that was able to help us get the reversal we saw in 2022 that kind of like lasted between June 2022 and December 2022. What was the trigger for that reversal? You can see we kind of had to break this deep down below this, and that got bought up, and that was sort of like the bullish engulfing candle that was able to get us from this base and make our first attempt at breaking this the upper band of this channel, and then we rejected that. And you can see that we've grinded that again. We just repeated this, however, for a bit shorter, and ultimately we seem to have been trying to get back here. And you can see that October candle, that scam October candle, was what took us below this. And right now we're sort of like in this weird space where, yes, we went below this, but we immediately got bought up, and it just appears as a wick. So I don't really know what to make of this, but I'm just operating under the just taking into account the possibility that this, where we are right now, we don't seem to be forming a structure that looks like it's about to just explode to the upside, right? We don't seem to be forming that. And unless it could be argued that this is like a curved bottom, which makes sense. This being a curved bottom makes a lot of sense. But unless that, I don't really see this form of confident bottom, this rejection of the support. I don't really see that happening here. And if we zoom into the weekly, it kind of looks like we're just kind of like grinding back down again. And so that just begs the question of, do we come back and tap this? Okay, so now that I've zoomed into the weekly, I can see that curved bottom. Now that's very interesting. So this curved bottom, you can see that is a, that's kind of like forming quite well. That's pretty interesting to see. I hadn't seen that before. You can see the curvature happen here. But yeah, it just begs the question that you know, do we see, if you look at it from the monthly perspective, right? Uh do we see a tap back at this, you know, support? Do we come back to the bottom of this channel and find that spark that takes us above it, right? Is that what happens? And if that's what we see, then yeah, maybe we might see that drop to $30 and we can see something that might look like this. I don't know. And that, that's where this my very arbitrary path sort of like came from. It's like if we see that drop here and then we get a very violent reversal, that can easily set us on the on the path, right? Is that what we're gonna see? Because that could really set us on an explosive path. So it's just a possibility, right? It's just a possibility. It's just something that one has to consider, because you can never say no. Again, the price can do anything it wants to do short term. Everyone's in this weird limbo position where we're at absolute capitulation, and the conditions kind of look like it's ripe for one more scam week. And if the market says that opportunity, I don't really see why it would say no to that opportunity. See, a possibility we see something like this is not off the cards. It's just something I feel like is worth pointing out. It's not really off the cards, and it's just nice. I mean, to pay attention to it, right? Pay attention to all of this angles, all of these possibilities, especially in the short term. But until that, it's not looking really bad, honestly. I'm gonna say that conversely, one can make the argument quite well that we might not be, we might not see that, right? One might make the argument that we might have seen, the bottom, and we're not gonna drop to this bottom of this channel. And I don't like using, fractals to do TA, because I just personally believe like it just works on the assumption that what's happened before will exactly happen again. So, but just looking at this broad structures and just looking at this formations can sort of like give you an idea. And one can make the argument that this is a curved bottom, and we're bottoming, if you can see it on the weekly, and that all just depends on how this plays out over a few weeks. We're going to see if this is an actual bottom. But yeah, the argument can be made, and this was that week that we that kind of like that could serve as that bottom. One could make that argument, and if one makes that argument, then it kind of like makes sense that there's a possibility we do not see that levels of LTC. But who knows? Who knows? We can never know. And yeah, that's essentially my 2 cents. So I'm going to continue to monitor the LTC BTC ratio together with the others. I mean, I brought up the LTC silver chart the last time, and ultimately I haven't brought up this LTC BTC chart in a while. But yeah, we're going to continue to monitor the situation. Just again, we're in a point in this market where anything can happen, and whatever move happens next is probably going to come with a lot of volatility. So we might see a sharp drop or a sharp reversal. It's just managing your expectations and being responsible with how you allocate your positions, or how you do whatever you're doing is just the logical thing to do. And It's just good to pay attention to all these things and keep it in mind. Now, with that being said, uh, we're gonna be looking at market sentiment. Of course, we're gonna be going through people's tweets because I really want to see what people have been talking about uh, more. And I have looked up some tweets today, but not really a lot, right? Not really a lot. So I'm gonna look at that with you guys and see uh, how people really feel. But everywhere does feel dead. Everywhere feels so silent. Feels like there's literally nothing happening anywhere. pretty pretty strange environment from 2021 cycle. I remember back in 2021. Oh my god, like everyone and their mother was in crypto, and the space was vibrant, very very vibrant. Like you literally make a tweet and you get like hundreds of thousands, millions of impressions, and you're not even dropping alpha or anything. That's really crazy because everyone's attention was here. It's kind of funny, the the paradigm that we currently find ourselves in. It's pretty interesting to see. And also, someone made a very good video. We might actually end up doing that. Who knows, right? We might end up doing like 20 minutes of we might end up doing like 20 minutes of you know we might end up doing like 20 minutes of sentiment watch, and then go ahead and just watch this video that Patrick Boyle did, essentially uh talking about how crypto's dead, right? How many times do we get to see that? We see that all the time, don't we? uh these are the times we are in, right? This is the sentiment. This is how people really feel. And this is the time we need to manage our expectations. Oh, we've got MKXPL. Bro, shout out to you, bro. MK, it's so nice having you here. First 13K, then 84K. Yes, let's go. Let's go. Honestly, honestly, looking at this LTC BTC chart, right? Whenever the reversal starts, one thing that's going to be very difficult to know is how high we can run, because this formation that's happening, it just looks like it just looks like capitulative accumulation. That's what it looks like in my mind. And this is when people look at the LTC BTC chart, they don't really see it the way I'm charting it, just because like most people look at the LTC BTC chart using the regular scale and not the log scale. And I don't really blame them, because they don't really see how fast this can reverse. And should this reverse in a way that is so fast and we find a way to get above this, a possibility for us to get to the point where we start calling for I don't know, 15% of a Bitcoin, 20% of Bitcoin starts to arise. You just never know how these things can end up playing out. But it's going to be pretty violent. It's going to be pretty crazy whenever this reversal happens. It's just in the short term, you never know. You never know. Maybe we see 30 and then 13K. How about that? Right, MK? How about we see 30 and then 13K? It's gonna be pretty freaking cool, right? So if we're coming back to test the bottom of this channel, what's that gonna look like for if we're coming back to test the bottom of this channel, what's that gonna look like? So it's gonna take us all the way to about 0.306. That's 0.0006. Okay, so that's gonna be another 23% drop against BTC. And you consider how much BTC drops by, and then it's pretty much going to line up with the $30 if we see the bottom of this channel. It's just something worth thinking about. Maybe we see $30 and then we see 13K. Right? What's 13K gonna look like? Where's that my fancy little fractal? Did I delete it? Oh my god, I deleted my fractal, bro. I deleted that fractal. I don't know why. Shouldn't have. Let's see. I'm gonna continue to monitor this. Let's look at what LTC is doing against silver. By the way, I haven't seen LTC silver in a while. No, no, I did bring it up last cycle. What is wrong with me? I did bring it up last cycle and last stream. Sorry, I brought it up last stream. Lest I forget. What is this? Yeah. Yep, we did bring it up last stream. We saw a nice little, I'm gonna say a nice little bounce against silver, which oh my god. It's not funny, honestly. Like we dropped so bad against silver, coinciding with that silver pump. We literally found the bottom at the top of this week, right? That was where we found our top. And let's look at that. Let's look at what that's where we found that's where we seem to be finding our bottom. Let's look at what that looked like on the weekly, because that it's just a wick. It's literally nothing more than a wick, but that seems to be where we're bottoming. And at least it's pretty cool, right, to see that LTC Silver's finally creating a bottom formation. I don't know what a drop against BTC will end up looking like, on the LTC silver chart. I don't know what that's gonna look like on the LTC silver chart, unless like we see a blanket drop in everything, which includes commodities, and then maybe this would just continue to bottom while that bleeds. Unless that, I don't really know what that's gonna look like against you know, against silver. I just don't see it. It's left for us to see it, honestly. But yeah, this looks like it's bottoming out nice and kind of coinciding with the we seem to look like we're bottoming against USD. Just looking at LTC USD, we seem to look like we're forming the bottom. We had that that pump that has left everyone confused yesterday. That looks like we're forming a very confident bottom, but not confident enough for anyone to switch bullish. Besides we that are like perma bulls, right? So I have to zoom that in to the daily. Let's look at it on the daily. Yep. So you can see that pump we had yesterday, that non-confidence inspiring pump that we had yesterday, which hasn't gotten us above. I mean, we've had that straight rejection today, just so close to the this EMA line, and we haven't been able to break above it. Whew, pretty brutal. Let's see. So we're having this bottom kind of form. Yeah, we're having this bottom kind of form here. And whilst this bottom is forming, we are seeing the oh my god, no, I did not show it. So this is the LTC USD, and we have this bottom here forming, and you just look at that. And conversely, let's zoom LTC silver in to the daily, so we see what's happening here. Kind of looks like it's bottoming on the daily, right? So if it ends up breaking this in any way, if it ends up breaking this, this chart looks like absolute fucking shit. Oh boy. So yeah, it's the exact same thing. So if we get a break against Bitcoin and we try to tap the bottom of that channel, what's that gonna look like? That's gonna look like it's gonna look like this against silver. It's just gonna look like this. How do we bottom then? What's the formation going to be? What are the levels we're going to be trying to tap? I don't know. It's left to be seen. It's left to be seen. And that would also mean that it would look like this for LTC USD. If we do find that, that would mean something like this, I guess. And let's see. We're gonna continue to monitor it. I'm gonna say that, in my own opinion, it's kind of like uh a 40% chance we drop below again, and a 60% chance that we're forming the bottom, because I'm not just seeing it like it just if we see something like that, if we see a bottom like that, if we see a crash like that, then I mean it's possible, don't get me wrong, right? But it's either gonna get bought up so fast, or it's gonna lead to a much broader progressive dump, which I don't really see why that's gonna happen considering how much we've dropped. But you never can rule it out, and that's why I've been saying that it's possible. you know you just don't want to rule it out ultimately. But I would say it's 60% odds in favor of this structure is kind of like following that rounding bottom that we saw on the weekly time frame. When we zoom it into the weekly, you can kind of see that it's a possibility that this rounding bottom is in fact what is in play, and we're just going to start a gradual upwards reversal. And if I can just drag this away, you can see the rounding bottom clearly. So yeah, with that being said, I'm going to say it's Shiba. I did not show this chart. Look at it. So this is it. Yeah, if this is the case, then there's a chance this rounding bottom is what's actually playing now, this rounding bottom on the LTC BTC. And if that's the case, then it's a 60% chance that we actually end up seeing just continuing the reversal against Bitcoin, and just continuing the reversal against USD as well. But yeah, there's still that 40% chance that we might drop below, and we're just going to continue to monitor it. With that being said, I believe we have to move to the next segment of this stream, which is Sentiment Watch. We need to look at what people are talking about, because we do that a lot in the streams. By the way, if you're new to the Lite Hour live stream, we look at what people are saying live a lot. So we just check what people are saying on X. We kind of like monitor, kind of like yeah, that's okay. Right. So bam, what is going on here? Okay, so we're gonna search we're gonna search. Should I search Litecoin? Should I search LTC? Let's just search LTC and look at people's tweet. You know what I'm gonna do with the Sentiment Watch next time we do Sentiment Watch is that I'm gonna make sure that I use a neutral account to look at people's tweets. And the reason why is that I think that because my account is like very Litecoin heavy, and I'm in the community, my algorithm feeds me a lot of community member tweets, and not a lot of neutral third party tweet that might be actually accurate descriptions of the sentiment. And because of that, next time we're gonna do sentiment watch, I'm definitely gonna be using the community, a neutral account, so I can really see what people are thinking. And okay, so we have from Surf Bounce at LTC. Surf is always positive about Litecoin. I really like this dude. He charts Litecoin. He's been one of the most bullish Litecoiners for quite a very long time now, and it remains consistent and very bullish. I like that. Okay, this is Million. I know all these guys, and that's why we're going to use a neutral account next time. This Litecoin MWeb balance increased a lot over the last years, especially since September 2025. When the growth continues with this speed, we could see 1 million LTC on the privacy layer until 2027. Pretty solid. Yeah, and then we saw that dip in MWeb balance, which, why the fuck did that happen? Why? Just why did it happen? Why did we have to see this dip? It just doesn't make sense. But conversely, we're still growing, right? Someone, Coinbase made the announcement that you can now take loans with your LTC, and someone's probably doing that. Someone's using their LTC to take loans, and just happen to coincide with when we see this big drop that's kind of happened. But altogether, we're still having, this is almost $20 million in value locked in MWeb completely organically. This is pretty huge. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Once we get like to the point where we're getting that attention again, of course we're gonna get more explosion when it comes to LTC's adoption in MWeb, but that's left to see. Oh, this is Surf again. LTC weekly looking juicy. I gotta like that, of course. I gotta like that from Million. I like that MWeb post. Everyone's kind of more positive than I am when it comes to like the RSI being, because like the LTC RSI is kind of like one of the lowest, if not the lowest ever. And it's like, it's like sometimes when RSI gets that low and markets capitulate that hard, sometimes it means that short term we might see some pretty nasty shit. Like as market is bottoming, we can see some pretty nasty thing go on, and it's not really funny when things like that happen. It's always beautiful and perfect in hindsight, but during that bottoming, when RSI is that low and everything is so oversold and the market's capitulating, oh boy, the short term can be very painful. Let's see. So who's this? Okay, we've got from 28 Crypto. Oh yeah, I know 28 Crypto as well. 28 Crypto and Surf. They're like this, 5 and 6. They're always posted. Let me see that triple bullish divergence on the monthly time frame. Let's look at that. It's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, actually. What RSI send is this? Okay, this is LTC BTC. Yes. By the way, LTC BTC, you were seeing that bullish divergence. It's kind of like one more argument against why we might not see $30 LTC, because like LTC BTC generally, the downward selling pressure has lost a lot of steam. It's just lost a lot of steam. So yeah, it's at that point where there's just not a lot of momentum for this thing to drop so hard. And if it does, the chances are it's going to recover whatever it drops very quickly and start that. Maybe the only thing that can be a positive out of like a drop like that might be maybe forced liquidation, just so we can get that spark and we can begin our way to the top. That's the only way I see that happening. But yeah, this bullish divergence kind of like shows that the sell pressure is dwindling. I really like this chart from 28 Crypto. I'm gonna bookmark it so it goes further. I don't know. Should I use more? Should I use more indicators in my stream when I'm doing TA? I'm not really a fan of indicators personally. And I think they could be a bit misleading just because of the fact, right? Just because of the fact that they're indicators. Everyone's looking at them, and kind of think when everyone's focusing on the same thing, like, I mean, the markets tend to punish the majority, and you could get wrecked just because of the fact. But let's see. Okay, this is from Wiz. LTC wants to rip higher. Oh yeah, Wiz is pretty huge, by the way, and he's always talking positively about Litecoin. He's been bullish Litecoin for a long time. 815,000 followers. Yeah. That's a lot of followers he got. 815,000 followers. So always positive about Litecoin. Yeah, LTC always wants to rip higher. I think I've seen this. Yeah, I did see this post by Wiz earlier, and the comments there are hilarious, bro. Let's look at the comments. Ouch. I think I just got bit by something. I don't even know what it is. Let's look at the comments. Yes. That's from Million. Only the beginning, Wiz. While all other coins still got room to fill, Litecoin is at the lows and has been holding strong. Pretty cool. Someone made a comment that made me laugh. Okay. Surprised you haven't done an honorable mention of Inch Pump, bro. Has Injective been pumping? This is pretty cool. Dude, that and BCH is gonna make us filthy rich. Yeah. I like the fact that BCH has sort of like been performing pretty strongly. It just makes me feel all of the dump that's happening on Litecoin is just fabricated. Because it just doesn't make sense why BCH will be, holding up pretty strong and we're not. But yeah, so that's a pretty interesting. It's a pretty funny comment actually. LTC and BCH to perform and then flip the whole conversation. Just end the POS token slop once and for all and send the whole conversation back to sound money, baby. It's pretty cool. And BCH is, established. It's kind of like holding strong back in the top 10. Cardano has been displaced from the top 10. So that might be something. That might be an indicator of something. I don't know. What's the top 10 going to look like at the end of the year? Probably LTC somewhere in the top 4 and, BCH, Zcash, and Monero back in the top 10. We could probably have 5 proof of work coins in the top 10 by the end of the year. I'm gonna go back to this clip and see how that's gonna actually work out. But yeah, we're gonna see a lot of proof of work coins back in the top 10. It's gonna be pretty glorious to see. LTC established above $60 will be a great start. Oh, absolutely, yes, please. Yes, please. Get up. Let's start it. That's pretty hilarious one. Okay. LTC pumping 1.3% while alts bleed out quietly in the background. Who's the real silver lion here? You or the bag holders crying at 40? First of all, we're not crying at 40. We are not crying at 40. What are you talking about, bro? But yeah, it's pretty funny. So like Litecoin does this thing where we just randomly pump when everything else is bleeding, and just somehow follow everything back. It's very strange. We do it all the time. Like the whole market's just crapping itself, and LTC just jumps 4 or 5%, and it finds a way to come back and harmonize with everything else. Kind of crazy. Kind of looks like some precise accumulation is going on. Maybe some particular long-term holder quits, and then the market just jumps up to absorb it. And this kind of makes sense when you consider the fact that like the $100 million LTC that was stolen and dumped on the market, just out of nowhere, massive buying pressure came, soaked it all up, and LTC just continued to follow everything else. $100 million sold off, $140 million sold off at once, and we had that job. Like pretty strange. Silent accumulation. LTC does some really interesting stuff. So yeah, we do this all the time. And no, we're not crying. We're not crying. If this base holds, momentum can flip quickly. That sounds AI as fuck. Sorry. Zero Future, it's a bear flag. What's a bear flag? You're a red flag. What's a bear flag? Okay, yes, this might look like a bear flag if it continues to develop. That's a pretty nice one to form. Maybe that's a good case for why we might end up seeing a further drop if this ends up being a bear flag. Because if you think about it, right, if you can plot this and then you plot that, this is distribution, and then we continue the pattern, then it ends up being a bear flag. Who knows? It's just yeah, maybe I shouldn't be so harsh on that person. Maybe it is a beer flag. Maybe it is a beer flag. Yeah, that's a good one to point out. I really like that. Let's look at that. Who's that person? Zero Futures. I give that a like. Maybe it's a beer flag. You can never tell. Tons of chart have the same pattern, brother. Why coin that literally never outperforms and move only 2% to when other mid and high cap move 5% up? It's like I like when people make comments like this. Like it just makes me understand how early we are when people make comments like this, because it's like, let's break this down, right? Tons of charts have the same pattern, brother. Why a coin that literally never outperforms and moves 2% to when other mid and high caps move up 5% plus? Oh my god, my brain is losing cells just reading this. Sorry. Tons of charts have the same pattern, brother. Why a coin that literally never outperforms and moves 2% to when other mid and high caps move 5+% up? Okay, so yeah. Why is he peaking? Why is he always chilling a coin that never outperforms, and when other mid to high caps move up 5% plus, LTC just moves up 2%? I like this, honestly. Like it's like people just don't understand. Like that's why the market is just structured to work the way it does. Like because like you have these patterns that always repeat themselves where neglect happens for very long, and these are the kind of sentiments people bear during the periods of neglect and absolute capitulation. And then you see the reverse when things reverse, right? Because yes, LTC does this thing where it's very strange. When everything's dropping, we're dropping with everything, and randomly we just jump up, maybe to absorb someone who's just capitulated, and we follow everything else. And when everything starts going up 5%, we're only recovering like 3%. It's very funny, but yeah, it's just one of those things, right? It's just those market behaviors, those things that have been happening in the chart have kind of like played into these people, kind of like taking that as, oh, it never outperforms, and like that has made a lot of people like avoid it altogether. Like, and it's pretty funny because these are conditions that set things up for a violent reversal, in my mind, in my opinion. Because like a lot of people are just far too sidelined because of these things that they've held in their minds to be absolute truths of the matter, which is, oh, it never outperforms. I mean, was nobody there in the 2017 cycle? No one's literally there in the 2017 cycle when Litecoin quite literally led the entire cycle, but now it never outperforms. Never outperforms. But let's see. It's pretty interesting, right? Okay, this is the one I saw that's funny. It always wants to. I really like this. If I have to pair this with the original tweet because it's kind of like it looks cool together. LTC wants to reap higher. It always wants to. This is so funny. LTC always wants to. LTC always looks like it's ready to reap every single freaking time. It looks like it's always ready to rip, but then it just doesn't. It just doesn't rip. It just smiles at us and continues dropping with the rest of the market. Pretty cool, right? Let's look at more comments. Many altcoins have similar charts, but looking through the prism of cyclicality and current data from traditional markets, there's a greater probability of continued declines in the coming weeks. Sounds like an AI to me. It's just my opinion. I don't really. They chase pumps we built on the block. It's already starting to push. Okay, this is just one chill. Let's move it. Fake breakout. Monday we see blood. Maybe. Same price at 2017. Actually, same price at 2013. That's even crazier. 2017. Yeah. 2013. Bro, it's worse than that. Where Litecoin was at 2013. Yay, let's celebrate that. That's pretty funny. Top signal. Yeah, Wiz was the top signal. That exact price, 55.87. That was where the whole momentum just dried out for this little reversal. What is wrong with you, Wiz? Stop posting about LTC. You're killing our momentum. That's pretty funny. That coin will never go up. Don't buy this coin, guys. Yeah, LTC is dead. Oh my god. Pretty funny. I love to see things like this. These things are entertaining. Like it's fun. Why don't you guys do this in your own? Like this is just so fun. Okay, what's this? Let me look at that. Oh, there's no volume for the reversal. Okay, so what's that supposed to mean? I don't get the meme. I'm not laughing to it. LTC being about to reap since 2017, the most patient coin in crypto history. One day it'll have its moment and nobody will be watching. Fruta, bro, Fruta. I'm gonna. Oh my god. This is such a nice comment. I love this. I'm gonna like this. I'm gonna bookmark this comment so it goes further up. This is pretty nice. Yeah, one day it's gonna have its moment and nobody will be watching. I think that's what it wants. Wait, am I what LTC is waiting for before it drops? Like, does LTC want me to like just stop posting so no one's looking at it? Is it me and Master LTC is waiting for? You know, it wants me and Master to get out and dump post and that it pumps. But yeah, one day it's gonna have its moment. No one's gonna be watching. It's most likely gonna happen very fast. No one's gonna catch. It's gonna be pretty cool to see. But yeah, Fruta, right on point. That chart looks like in this. Hey yo, now that's crazy. That chart looks like it needs therapy. Real. Did you know one of the first 3 coins I bought in 2017 was LTC? Then that CEO sold accidentally all on top of the bull run. Still remember that feeling. Oh my god, why do people keep calling Charlie LTC CEO? I don't get it. Why do you all keep calling Charlie Litecoin CEO? Like that shit CEO sold. Yo, CEO, what did you sell? Oh my god. Oh, sorry, bro. I'm gonna comment on this one. CEO Charlie, why did you sell? Where is that? Oh my god, no, I'm not gonna post this. It's gonna be funny though, but I don't want it on my timeline because I don't want people to be I don't want people to look at this differently. I'm not gonna post it, but yeah, at least y'all that are looking at it on the live, you see it, so you get the joke, right? Yeah. So with that being said, we've made the joke, so we just cancel it. Say for no discarding. No. We made the joke. Let's leave it. It will finally break out. Yes, it will. What else? Whenever he see a coin plus 1% off, bro, so much higher. That's pretty funny. Let's send it. Yay! Send it, Wiz. Let's go. Okay. So this is Wyckoff accumulation schematic. I'm not really a fan of these fractals, in my opinion. I don't really like. I used to use like the fractals to trade. By the way, like the reason why I'm too funny, man. Yeah, it's too funny. I don't really use fractals to trade. I don't know if you guys noticed, but like on my streams, I try as much as possible to keep TA to the absolute minimum. Just a few lines, and I'm always clear that I'm just speculating because I did a course, right, like a mini training on all of these, charts and how to use Fibonacci, how to use the wake off accumulation, distribution, all of this patterns, the entire indicator stack, the RSI, the VPVR, all of the full 9 yards of it, all the technical setups. And I do this, and over a long time, like I started to monitor the success rate, and they're all pretty shit. And I thought I was pretty shit, right? And maybe it's just that I'm pretty shit at using them. But then I also started monitoring from other like big time CMCs and other analysts, and they were also pretty shit. And I'm like, maybe if the indicator everyone's already using it, it's pretty shit already, right? And so I just don't like using doing things that are way too complicated. Just keeping everything light and simple, and trying as much as possible to never look beyond the HTF. And it's been working pretty great, right? Yeah. The majority of altcoins right now. Okay, would be nice, bro. Yeah, it would be nice if we pump. Silver is the future, and this looks like this is crypto opus. This looks like AI. This is like the most AI shit ever. LTC's setup looks bullish in higher time frames. Yes, it does. It looks bullish. It looks like it's about to force capitulation from some people before it continues. That has been what that's been my general take on the chart. It's like it looks it just looks like it wants to force some more capitulation before it moves. And it could suck, right? Because you never know how low it can get to just achieve that accumulation. LTC soon $200, bro. Those baby targets. You're never thinking 4K, or I'm not taking you serious. Watching LTC for a bullish breakout price consolidation. AI is fuck. Sorry. Maybe a very good buy zone. I see. Nice. Buy. So we dropped to like $30 on CSET. It's gonna be pretty funny. Like imagine a normie buying right now, and then we just have a little flash dip. It's gonna be so funny. Then they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, get me out of this shit Litecoin. I'm done. This shit coin is going to zero. I'm out. Oh my god. What should I do with the buy Tao you said, brother? Now I have bought it at $190 and my liquidity is at 150. What, you bought Tao at 190 and it's at 150, or you entered into a leverage position? I don't know. Peace to you. You know what you're buying. You know what you're trading leverage. Just only you. No, only down. Only down. Who knows? Maybe only down. Max Sand. Huh. Interesting. It's great that it's going up more. Oh, it's great that it's going up more. Oh, cool. Do you Litecoin? Who's this crown person? Okay, so do you Litecoin? I don't know what that's supposed to freaking mean. Sorry. Tao LTC MPC. Bro, stop LTC beside other shitcoin. Sorry. Soon enough, Wiz. $70 soon. It just depends on Bitcoin. Actually, no. That push we had yesterday with LTC, very strange strength that we had. No, Bitcoin did not have that much of a strength push. So no, it's not only dependent on Bitcoin. Sorry. Max teleport. Yeah, we need to have max teleport. Just jump to $150, melt everybody's faces. I won't be surprised if that happens, Mahmoud. Pretty cool. This person says, "You're an idiot, Wiz." Oh my god. Everyone is absolutely tearing this guy. Maybe not everyone, but some people are. Send it, Aki. Okay, yeah, that pretty much sums up how people. I think, yeah, I said it's a stream back, right? That one of the best ways to know what people are thinking is to look at the comments actually do a better job than anything else. Wow, this is a post that got 34,000 views. That's pretty nice. 34,000 impressions. LTC long bottom is in, new leg up will start soon. Okay, let's look at that. Uh, this is this is not giving me the confidence I'm looking for, bro. But yeah, it does look like a bottom is forming. It really does. We look at it from a different perspective, but you kind of need more, right? Because I mean, you'd have called this a bottom, and this looked a bit more confident than this. Because these were full body candles, you'd have called this a bottom. You can never really say. Um, but yeah, let's look at the comment. Let's look at the comments. Charts looking better now. Let's see. Pretty cool. Hoping this leg up sticks LFG. I like this meme. Pretty cool. Huge leg up is imminent. Yeah. Guess what else is huge? I'll leave that at that. Eyeballs. Okay, send it. Keeping eyes on it. Are you in? That's what she said. Anyways, another eyeball emoji. Up we go. I'm all in. Let's see. Okay. These are not like the quality of Weez's comments, but pretty decent. Yeah, I believe that's it. That's it. That's pretty much all I want to do when it comes to sentiment watch. I don't think I have anything else to do. What are we gonna do today? Let's look at I want to go back and look at LTC USD again, and I believe now that I started oh my god, what am I doing? What am I doing? Yep. Let's look at the weekly. Strange stuff that I've noticed is that LTC BTC last cycle had a relative strength. Showed relative strength in Litecoin's favor when during the first year of the bear market, so 2022. So we're gonna look at that LTC BTC. I'm gonna put that's what I want to pull that up. But let me look at the weekly first. I want to see that person's formation. Okay, the weekly doesn't look too bad. I'm not gonna lie, right? It doesn't look too bad. I think if things go well, then we should see a quick violent move to at least try to test this. But if we see a violent move like that, I'd expect it to get rejected. So in my opinion, what would favor us is if we can sort of like crawl. If we crawl here, then maybe March or April we should be here, and we can sort of like just sneak into this and just get out of this whole structure and just start moving up. So I prefer this to just sneak, just crawl up before it moves. Yeah, but that's left to be seen. So now let's look at our LTC BTC, and I'm going to point this out, and then we're going to call it a day. Unfortunately, we're not able to look at what I wanted us to look at, which is that video where that one dude said crypto is dead. And by the way, when I say one dude, I'm not saying it in a bad way, because I'm a fan of Patrick Boyle. I think is a pretty I really love his content, just keeping it lightly. But then that being said, let's look at this this chart. Where are my other lines? My other lines have been removed. Oh my god. Anyways, so you can see that during the bear market of 2022, so we showed relative strength against Bitcoin. And so we're going to look at this side by side with BTC USD. So we can see if we can make anything of anything that's going on, right? Maybe we can make a special case that that there's a possibility that we might just see a situation where LTC goes on a rally during bear market. Because during bear markets, there's always that one coin that goes on a rally, right? An actual bull market. And the 2018 bear market, that coin was Chainlink. So Chainlink was the one that ran during that period, and it was a pretty nice run it had between 2018 and 2020. And for 2022, what was shaping up to be that one was Luna was shaping up to be the one that was going to go on that run, but then it ended up of course Luna in everyone remembers what happened to Luna. So yeah, pretty much the way it's worked out for that. So that got cut short, but there's a possibility that we might see something like that with Litecoin. I mean, Litecoin is not gonna implode if it goes on a run. So maybe we can make that spatial cast and just like dubiously speculate that we see Litecoin as that one that does that counter market moves. It looks like it's shaping up for that, but you never know. And so let's look at this. So what was Bitcoin doing between? So we've got the BTC USD chart here, and so what I'm going to try to do is see what this period was, this time period. So we had that was June of 2022, rather, not January of 2022. So June of 2022 was when we had that really nice relative strength against Bitcoin when everything was crashing down. And if we look at it, so from swing low to swing high, let's pretty much look at it right now. So kind of did like a 196%, so close to a 200% pump against Bitcoin was what it had, right? And that move ended when? So that was from June 2022 to February of 2023. And let's look at what that looked like for Bitcoin. So this is Bitcoin. So June 2022 and February of 2023, what was that looking like for Bitcoin? I believe that was when Bitcoin was forming a bottom. Interesting. So this is it. So so what was June? So okay, so this was June. Interesting. So this, oh my God, this is very interesting. Very interesting. This is very interesting. Look at that, right? So now Bitcoin looked scary, like scary as fuck, right? So it looked like it was about to implode because, of course, we had the double top and things looked absolutely nasty as of May. And what did we see happen? Right. So what we saw from June to February 2023. Interesting. So that was when we saw the bottoming of Bitcoin. And when Bitcoin was like absolutely capitulating and forming a bottom, which was a period when Bitcoin quite literally, oh my God, I have to do that measurement. Well, I don't think I did it well. Okay, I have to do it properly. Hold on, which means I need to zoom this chart in. You guys have to gonna bear with me. You're gonna have to bear with me. However that goes. So let's look at that again. Gonna have to take that from H to L. And okay, so when Bitcoin looked ready to implode, and when it was imploding between, again, June 2022 and February 2023, that was when Bitcoin was having its absolute collapse, its final total collapse, right? And what was LTC BTC doing? This is LTC BTC in the same time period. LTC BTC was showing relative strength. Relative strength. Pretty interesting, right? Pretty freaking interesting. And you can look at that. In that time period, LTC gained 200% against BTC. So look at it here. That time period, LTC, BTC, up 200%. So now I want to see what that looked like for LTC USD. And then we're going to call it a day, I believe. It's pretty interesting. Pretty freaking interesting. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. Let's look at that from the perspective of LTC USD. So what was LTC USD doing in that time period? So between June of wow, this is interesting. So between June of 2022, which is here, June of 2022, and wow, and February of 2023, wow, just wow, I'm gonna show it. Look at it here. Look at it here. So sorry, I have to redo that. Gotta pinpoint it precise. So between that same period, that is June of 2022 and June of 2022 and February of 2023, LTC went up about 150%. So what my takeaway from this, right, is when BTC was about to ultimately implode last cycle and go on the final leg of its drop, LTC showed relative strength against Bitcoin. And you can see this in the, in the form of LTC, BTC going up 200% within the same time period. So 3x, LTC 3x against Bitcoin in that time period. And what that reflected, on LTC's actual chart against USD is it had already bottomed. It had already found its bottom. And so it was holding up and moving counter market. And once BTC started reversing, it reversed faster. And ultimately, there's a possibility, because people look at this BTC chart. And why I think it's important to look at that, why I think it's important, is people are making the argument that we're repeating the same fractal here, which is essentially, let me try to, adjust the perspective of this. So people are arguing that we're seeing this fractal. So this is, first top, second top. And the argument is kind of like, this is first top and this is second top. And then we're going to drop inside of this. And part of the fear happening is that this fractal with Bitcoin, first top, second top, first top, second top, the fear has been that if we go on this ultimate implosion, that we're gonna see with Bitcoin, if we go on this ultimate implosion, then that might drag LTC to insane valuations that we cannot even imagine, right? But considering what I just showed, that LTC, BTC showed relative strength when Bitcoin was absolutely getting decimated at that point in the cycle, and if you consider that, and LTC was had already bottomed, and while Bitcoin was imploding, could not give a fuck about that implosion, just continued bottoming and ultimately recovering first before Bitcoin. What would that, if something like that's going to repeat, what's that going to repeat as? So it might actually mean that LTC has in fact found its bottom and might just meander here for a bit while Bitcoin absolutely capitulates. So we can see Bitcoin fall to 40K and 30K, while LTC just stays, it probably flash crashes to 30 and gets back to 54 as quickly as possible and just hangs. That's a possibility because it's what we did last cycle. It might also reflect in the form of Bitcoin just consolidating for a while LTC simply goes on its own run. And that is going to be something absolutely no one is expecting. But if you look at what happened at that time in the cycle, this is just going to be a repeat of that. It's just like this time, instead of having LTC bottom while Bitcoin has actually like capitulated or is capitulating, it might just represent itself as LTC going on an actual run while Bitcoin does absolutely nothing and meanders, just consolidates. Yeah, I believe that's the end of this stream. If you enjoyed this stream with me, go ahead and sub to the channel or follow the page. It's gonna be pretty cool. Shout out to MK for staying with us in the chat. Really appreciate that. Of course, this has been the Lite Hour live stream, and the Lite Hour live stream is a Litecoin dedicated live stream that we host on the Flipping Finance page every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 5 p.m. EST. So, of course, you never want to miss the Lite Hour live stream because this is how we keep the Litecoin conversation going one way or another. And with that being said, I'm going to be saying peace out, everybody. And I will see you guys next month. Of course, this is the final Lite Hour live stream of February. All right, so the final Lite Hour live stream of February, because we don't host in the last week of the month, and today's 22nd, so next week is the last week of the month, so it's going to be until March before you guys see me. And with that, I'm going to say bye-bye, and yeah, bye-bye.